Hey guys, Lopez here. So in this video we're going to learn more about CELO. So this is a smart dude that is talking about CELO. So I wanted to create this video because if you don't know about CELO, I'm going to watch this video. We are going to watch this video, and I'm going to do some commentary here and there to share my brain, pick my brain, and pick your brain in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Let's go.
Access.io. Today we're going to keep talking about more stablecoins. In this case, we're going to talk about CELO. First, I want to remind you that we keep creating content like this. This week, of course, we're talking about stablecoins. We've talked about lending. We've talked about real-world assets on-chain. All these different topics dealing with decentralized finance, cryptocurrency, blockchain. If you want to keep getting this content, subscribe to our channel here, and you'll keep.
Okay, yeah. So definitely subscribe also to my channel.
You'll be updated as soon as we bring out new
channel that Interact
videos. We really like talking about some of these themes, and we hope you enjoy it too. So remember to subscribe. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Interaxis8 so you can get the latest updates. Now we're going to keep moving, talking about stablecoins. In this case, we're going to talk about CELO. So CELO is actually an organization that created this. The CELO.
By the way, I'm currently making pretty good income just staking but farming on CELO, farming the stablecoin Mula euros and Mula USD. Okay, so it's a triple reward pool that will give you CELO, UB, and Mula
protocol. And the idea behind CELO is they really want to be able to do, what we call in DeFi, kind of bank the unbanked, right? There are all these people in the world. 1 in 3 adults in the world do not have a bank account. They do not have a way to bank themselves.
One of 3 people don't have a bank account. Like, that's crazy. The use case for CELO is huge.
Therefore, CELO is trying to build an entire network, a protocol, to be able to help many of those people with finances, to be able to have access to much of the financial infrastructure that a lot of us really kind of take for granted.
Like the thing about, like, it's not only just bank. You can just have savings account and these kind of stuff. So that those are coming too.
So CELO has built this network. They have some unbelievable investors and backers like Andreessen Horowitz, Jack Dorsey, Reid Hoffman. A lot of these names that are big in the tech world, Dragonfly partners, are behind CELO because they're trying to build this worldwide network that allows people to access the financial system. And they're doing it utilizing, a lot of people don't have banks, but a lot of people have cell phones. So they're utilizing mobile phones and applications on mobile phones, and they're tying your wallet, so your crypto wallet, to a phone number. Yeah. So in theory,
if you haven't used it, you can download the app Valora, and it's crazy. It's crazy that you just put your phone number and then
and transact with other people that I have on my contact list just by their phone number. I can send money essentially to their phone number. They might get a message that says you have to go create a wallet, and it'll be tied to your phone number. And that way you kind of have a digital identity, start building a digital reputation for yourself, be able to be banked now because there are others in the network. So what CELO has done is they have this, again, they have the CELO network protocol, and they're allowing developers to come in here and use the protocol to build some of these financial applications, right? So you have lending, maybe investing, maybe some sort of digital assets eventually. I'm betting there'll be insurance, especially because I think a lot of people using this are probably in the farming type industries and agriculture. So there'll be some insurance there based on this CELO protocol. And since they've built it to be so lightweight and on phones and based on the mobile networks that I can then send money back and forth, well, now we can create this worldwide network, this blockchain-based network of people that are connected on CELO, and then they can send money, they can use money, they can lend, they can borrow, they can invest, they can insure, all those things that we take for granted in the traditional financial world. They can do it now, and they can be using the CELO backbone. But of course, as we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, one of the most important things you have to have is you have to have some level of stability, right? You have some stable coin, stable value
so now
that you transact.
Now at this point, it gets very interesting because, for example, I'm farming the stable coins, and they are just like incentivizing it further with more rewards. And it's like you're holding stable coins and same time farming.
So I know that when I send money to someone, when I borrow money, that dollar, that coin that I use is worth about the same today.
What are the risks of stable coins and kind of like that kind of stuff?
It was when I borrowed it a month ago or 2 months ago or a year ago or whatever it might be. I can't have the value of my loan or the value of my business transactions going up and down in volatility like we've seen happen with cryptocurrency in the past. Okay, so what CELO had to do was build the CELO dollar, so the CUSD. Okay.
By the way, if you drink tea, comment down some tea that you like to drink. I like green tea, and I like also
so the CELO dollar. So their first stablecoin is going to be pegged.
This coffee is so addictive, I can't drink it.
Or is pegged to the 1-to-1 to the US dollar. So now, what they have overall in the CELO network, and again, this talk is meant to be about the CELO dollar, the stablecoin, but we have to talk a bit about the whole.
Stablecoins are huge.
The whole network. So what they have is CELO is not a fully public blockchain. Not everyone can get a node and get on there and validate. So they have validators. They have 100 validators, and those validators get paid. They've been issued C Gold, so CGLD. Okay, so CGLD is the cryptocurrency that's actually going to fluctuate in value. Okay, and the point is these validators are wanting to validate this network. They have to have some sort of incentive, right? And the incentive is the value of the CGLD. So they sold the network. They sold a bunch of CGLD in the marketplace, and that's how they got a bunch of money in their reserve. So the CUSD is backed by CGLD. Can't write for some reason today. And then it's also backed by Bitcoin, ETH, and DAI in the reserve, in what's called the CELO reserve. And the CUSD is minted enough so that it maintains its value. So however these are fluctuating, the idea is for this to maintain its dollar value. We're going to keep enough in reserve for this to maintain the dollar value. Now, the question is, okay, what happens if the value of CUSD goes up? Well, the value of CUSD goes up from, say, $1 to, we'll call it $1.05. Okay, let's think about what has happened in the market for that to transpire. That means there is more demand for CUSD than there is supply. More people are wanting to use it, to transact in it. There needs to be more. There aren't enough, so we have to pay more than $1 for it. So it's $1.05. Well, that's really good for the validators, right? Because that means there's so much demand on the network. People have built enough applications. There's enough use for it. There's more demand than there is supply. That should be good for these validators, right? So what happens? The CELO protocol says if we see that the value of CUSD is worth more than $1, that means we have to add supply. We have to mint more CUSD. We need more supply because there's too much demand. So we mint CUSD, we put it out there in the market, and we use CGLD we buy CGLD back. So it puts out CUSD and exchanges it for CGLD, CELO gold. Okay, what that means is it basically bumps up the price or the value of CELO gold because the protocol is out there buying it, right? And they're buying it with the CUSD stablecoin. So that's why it's good because now the value of this is
CELO. CELO is like Luna and Avalanche combined.
Gone up because this protocol, the arithmetic, the math, right? The algorithm.
By the way, both of those currencies have done.
Said we're going to create this kind of out of thin air. We're going to put it out there in the market, and the way we put it out there is we buy this back and stick it back in the reserve. Okay, so again, the demand for CUSD is up there. The demand for the network is up, and therefore the protocol is going to print more, make more dollars, make more stablecoin, and buy back the CELO gold and put it in the reserve, making the value of CELO gold go up, right? There's less of it out there in the world. There's more demand by the protocol. Therefore, it's good for the validators. It's good for the network. The goal is get developers to build applications and get people to put this wallet, put the app on their phone and start transacting around the world in CELO gold. That's the whole point. So what happens? What happens then if the value goes down to, call it 98 cents? Okay, now that's bad for the network, right? There's more supply than there is demand. So the opposite is going to happen. The protocol is going to say, look, we're going to sell the CELO gold and we're going to buy CUSD. We're going to put that back in the reserve and we're going to burn it when it comes in. Less supply is going to drive the price back up to $1, and we're going to do that till the market demand is there. Now, we're going to go back just a little bit and say, well, what's the value of my having a CGLD? What can I do? Well, let's say that demand goes up and the price goes up to $1.05 again, and I'm holding CGLD. Well, when I hold the CELO gold, I can always sell $1 worth of CELO gold into the reserve and mint $1 $1 worth of CUSD. So I do that. I get $1. I put in my $1 worth of CELO gold. I get $1 worth or one CUSD. I can go sell it on the open market for $1.05. Now what I've done is I've used the incentive mechanism to create arbitrage, right? So the arbitrage opportunity is I can sell $1 worth of CGLD, get one CUSD, and sell that for $1.05, and I profit 5 cents. Well, that doesn't sound like a lot unless I do it 5,000 times, and now I've profited enough, and maybe I've done enough to move the market back closer to maybe $1.02, and the protocol can take the rest. So there's the arbitrage opportunity, which means the value of my CGLD has won me something. The fact that I hold it now has gotten me this arbitrage ability that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So that is a little bit about CUSD. It's really the important thing is they built their own network. This is not on Ethereum or Bitcoin or one of the other public blockchains. This is where they are deciding who the validators are. The validators are getting paid, so the validators also have to stake. So if they act maliciously, the validators can have their CELO gold burned. Okay, but the key is they're using a combination of protocol and incentive mechanisms to try to hold the value of CUSD at $1. Now, the CGLD is also a governance token. So eventually the holders can go, look, we want to mint other stablecoins. We want to have a C euro and a C yen or some of these others, or maybe we just create a basket of cryptocurrencies or a basket of other assets, and we can hold those in reserve and figure out how to keep it that stable. So it doesn't have to be pegged to $1. It can be pegged to a basket of assets. And the C gold token holders, by way of governance, are able to vote on that and create that. But remember, they are incented. The validators are incented. They actually get paid CUSD for doing the validating. They get paid to validate all these transactions that are going on, hopefully all over the world. But the value here is built in the CELO organization. getting developers to build applications that get users around the world to actually put this on their phone and use it. So again, the value of this is only going to be there if there's demand, if people are actually using it. But they had to create a stablecoin so that users could transact and feel pretty confident that the transactions that they make are worth about $1. They know what they're worth. Now, again, just like all the other protocols we've talked about, they've chosen $1 because the US dollar is kind of the world reserve currency. If at some point they want to change, though, the C Gold holders can decide they want to change what the stable coin is, or they want to have multiple stable coins or something like that. But right now, that's a little bit about CELO, a little bit about CUSD, how it's affected by the network. It's its own.
CELO has just started to run up. It's been a sleeping giant for a while now.
Network built for a purpose, and the purpose is to get all those people that maybe don't have bank accounts but have mobile phones to be able to transact with each other around the
volumes has just
world. Have this peer-to-peer network, which is somewhat decentralized. It's got these validators. It's not a fully decentralized network like Ethereum, but it's somewhat decentralized in that they have these validators. Ideally, the organization doesn't completely control everything. These are governance tokens, so those that have the governance tokens can effectively govern the protocol, get it out there, and the goal is to get a lot of demand by virtue of the developers that develop these applications, again, like lending and investing and insurance and staking and everything else that we can do in the traditional finance world, and put it out there on the CELO network. So that's a little bit about CELO. Check them out, CELO.org, and that's
yeah, the thing with, for example, what I think about proof of stake in itself is just, if you think about proof of work versus proof of stake, I still think that proof of work is just, if you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's just, secure system. But at the same time, I don't really know where the world is heading, like the Bitcoin's environmental issues. I understand, they are huge, but at the same time, if you look at the contrast, are they really that huge? But I'm not pro Bitcoin or against Bitcoin. I'm interested to see what's going to happen, because in the end I believe that it's the same story as Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett have talked about and showed about the tulips. Okay, anyway, that was the CELO video. Thanks for this guy. Go subscribe to his channel, check out his content, he's very smart, and see you in the next videos, guys.